Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday, May 19th, 2015. Thanks for lending me a few minutes of your time for this week's episode of Cardoodle. This is Jim. If you're new here, this is the blog where I work on upcoming projects and talk about other stuff that interests me. In this video, I'm working on the next episode of Welcome to Boulder Dash, creating a couple of characters. In this case, lemons. I at first thought this was an original idea, but then I remembered that there's another incredibly popular YouTube series already based on a talking citrus fruit. Some of you may realize that I'm talking about the annoying orange, which, you know what, I'm already halfway done. I'm gonna keep going with this episode. One of the things I've had to learn the past few years, I've been putting videos up on YouTube, is how complex even simple characters can be to construct. The lemons, once they're done, even without arms and legs or a torso or anything, they will have at least 10 layers of artwork each, which honestly isn't a lot compared to a lot of animated characters. It's actually why I try to keep a relatively simple art style, because if I don't do that, I can't get things out in a timely manner. And even then, as you can see, when life gets in the way, I still might end up being delayed. But don't worry, this cartoon will not be any more delayed than it already was. It will still be released in early June. I'm actually almost completely done with the background artwork as well as the character artwork. At this point, I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks recording and editing audio as well as animating the cartoon itself. In other news, my most recent cartoon, Cultured Crop Circles, was featured on last week's Saturday Morning Cartoons. So thanks to everybody who's been really supportive and made that possible. I'm sure most of you have already seen that already. If you haven't, click the link in the upper right corner right about now or at the end of the video. You know, and I actually really did want to talk a little bit about what made that cartoon happen. So in case you haven't noticed from all the other cartoons I've done, I have an appreciation for the weird, for unusual happenings, strange characters and situations, stuff that includes magic and science fiction and the supernatural. These are things I've been interested in for a very, very long time, since I was a little kid even. I'm not entirely sure where that interest came from. Now, I should point out, I don't really believe in stuff like aliens visiting Earth or conspiracy theories or magic or any of that kind of stuff, but I've always found stuff like folklore and urban legends absolutely fascinating. Some of my favorite memories from my youth were sitting around a campfire with a bunch of other kids and all of us telling each other what were probably 90% made up stories or stories we just heard from somebody else, and really kind of try to scare each other to death. Now, as the years go by and you get older, most of us, I think, stop believing in a lot of these odd urban legends and conspiracy theories and other kinds of stories that were told as children. We learn to view the world in a more rational way, but you know, it's always still kind of interesting from a storytelling perspective. So where am I going with this? We're gonna fast forward a few years to when I was in college, and I remember watching a show on, I think it was History Channel. History Channel is the one that shows all those shows about Bigfoot and the like, and I think it was an episode of Ancient Aliens. And being in my late teens, early 20s at the time, I remember kind of making jokes at the expense of the people on Ancient Aliens for being, let's face it, a little bit out there. And I remember my mom was there and kind of laughing along with me, and then she said something kind of half-jokingly that really got my attention. She said, and I'm paraphrasing here, she said something like, yeah, these people probably are crazy, but I think the saddest part of all this is, what if they're right? And even though it was meant kind of as a joke, it's something that stuck with me later. Now, I have yet to see any concrete evidence that people who see UFOs or Bigfoot aren't actually seeing something else, or that the Egyptian pyramids were actually built by aliens as an energy source. But you've always got to maintain that little speck of doubt in your mind that maybe everything you believe is wrong. So I'm really interested to know, what are your favorite urban legends or conspiracy theories, or especially local folklore? That is something I find truly fascinating, and I would love to hear what you have to say. Please let me know in the comments section. Please also remember to like, share, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Next week we'll be working a little bit more on the Christmas cartoon, and I'll see you all on Tuesday.